Imagine your mother, your sister, or any other female relative for that matter, was brutally murdered by someone who was supposed to love and protect them. Would you be angry? Would you want justice for them? Such are the questions the people of Mexico find that they are asking themselves as the number of femicides is on the rise as the years go by. Although today I'll be mentioning more about Mexico specifically, femicides happen all over the world, and so it is essential for them to be known. Seeing as how my parents are Mexican immigrants and keep up with Mexican news and media, I feel I know a little bit more than the average person about the situation going on there, specifically in regards to femicides. Today I'll be defining what femicides are, talking about the four different kinds, as well as discussing the situation in Mexico and how women there are retaliating and demanding justice. To start with the definition of femicides, the World Health Organization defines them as the intentional murder of women because they are women. However, this definition can encompass anything from any killing of girls or women. These murders are often at the hands of men. However, there are some instances at which women are the perpetrators. And the thing that differentiates femicides from homicides or femicides and the murder of men is that femicides are often a consequence of ongoing abuse at home at the hands of a partner, whether the relationship is current or old. This kind of abuse is possible in a relationship when one of the people in it has significantly less resources or power than the other one, which puts them in a compromising position and allows them to stay in this dangerous situation that could potentially lead to a murder, which is what has been happening in Mexico recently, where femicides have been on the rise. To illustrate this growing number, I have a bar graph taken from Statista.com. It shows the number of cases in Mexico of femicides from the year 2015 to the year of 2020. It was published this year, which is why there's no information on 2021 on it yet. So this is the bar graph. On this side, we have the number of femicides. It starts at 0 and goes to 1,200, and it goes up by 200 increments of 200, and then the years are shown at the bottom. It goes from 411 cases in 2015 all the way up to 939 cases in 2020. And there was 4 more cases of femicide in 2019 than 2020, which is not as congruent with what I said that it's been on the rise, but that is because last year there was a stay-at-home order because of the pandemic. Moving on to the different kinds of femicide, the World Health Organization labels 4 of them as intimate femicide, murders in the name of honor, dowry-related, and non-intimate femicide. To start with intimate femicide, that happens when the murder is done by a former or current husband or boyfriend. And then the second type, which is honor-related murders, happen when a woman is killed because of an alleged sexual assault or an illegitimate pregnancy, and it's done at the hands of a man who wants to preserve either his honor or that of his family. It's basically a way to silence the woman to keep her from speaking out against the man's crimes. The third type is dowry-related femicide, and this one is often linked to cultural practices, and it happens when in-laws kill brides because of any conflict with a dowry. And then the last one is non-intimate femicide, which happens when there's no relationship between the murderer and the victim. Sometimes they're strangers, and it often involves sexual aggression. And to tie this last one to Mexico, the World Health Organization states that 400 women have been killed in this way in Ciudad de Juarez, Mexico alone in the past decade. Now that I've defined the different kinds of femicide that can occur and the most common type in Mexico, which was non-intimate femicides, I'll be discussing the situation there in further detail. So women in Mexico have been protesting. It's been ongoing for the past couple of years, but last year specifically and this year has been important. This picture was taken at one of the protests last year, and the women are holding up a sign that is in Spanish, but it translates to 9 women are assassinated a day in Mexico, and then the bottom says not one more. These protests often have the police aggressively interfering, but women go out regardless because their president, Obrador, has not done much to amend the situation. The picture comes from an article in the Townsend Journal of International Affairs, and they say that the president has actually cut funding for shelters that assist women in abusive relationships, as well as cut the aid for programs that attempt to protect victims of gendered violence. This is dangerous because earlier I mentioned how femicides are likely to occur where there is an imbalance in the relationship, and so cutting the aid for these programs makes it so that women have to rely on their abusers and they can't escape their dangerous situation. Little progress has been made in the nation overall in terms of fighting femicide. So in the end, though women advocates are trying their best to promote stricter laws against gender violence, little to no progress has been made to reduce or resolve the issue. Today, I went over the definition of femicides, the 4 different classifications, as well as the specific situation going on in Mexico. Due to the circumstances that make homicide into a femicide, one can see that they can and do happen all over the world. So in the end, I hope that now that you know a little bit more about femicides, you're also aware of the importance to take initiative everywhere to educate people on the tragic consequences of gendered violence in order to ensure the safety of all women and girls.